Hi everyone, this is Yulianna Avdeeva. Tonight I'm greeting you from Warsaw and I'm sitting in a very, very special place which means a lot to me. This is the Chopin Institute where I am now and send you my warmest regards and greetings. And the building which you see outside across the window is the Frederick Chopin Museum, one of the places which really inspired me and gave me so much positive energy during the Chopin competition in 2010. So this is the place I actually very much wanted to share with you, because 2010 was also for me a very special year, and there was for me also a very special story about my first visit here. That was in April 2010. We had preliminary rounds here in Warsaw, and you might remember that there was this big volcanic eruption in Iceland with this big great ash cloud, and there were no flights, nothing was moving, and I had to come here somehow to the preliminary round. And what happened, I took a train and I was here, I played my preliminary round. The museum was just about to open. And I was I'm saying it always with, I'm very proud about that. I was one of the first visitors of this museum and this place. When you come to Warsaw, please visit it. It's absolutely amazing place. There are so much, of course, there are so many Chopin belongings in there. But it's also a very modern museum with amazing information about his life, about persons related to him. And somehow there are also some rooms which are, of course, with some piano and everything. And somehow the spirit of Chopin there is so strong. And that was absolutely amazing to see it. So every time when I'm here, I always try to get there, because this inspiration, this special air which this museum has, this is the place to get it. And yeah, I'm very grateful also to the Chopin Institute where I'm sitting now. It's just across the Chopin Museum, that I'm able to share this building with you tonight here in Warsaw. Hi Joan, hi Joan, and hi back to Warsaw. I'm here now, and tomorrow I'm very excited to perform my recital here, the closing concert of the 16th Chopin and his Europe Festival. And tomorrow I will be playing the fantasy and eroica variations by Beethoven, as well as the pictures at an exhibition by Mussorgsky. So that's why somehow I wanted, because I'm there are several reasons why I decided to talk about pictures tonight. Well, first of all, we are coming first to our Bach project. We have the G sharp minor already tonight. G sharp minor is a rare tonality, very rare. Of course, also even in the piano literature, Chopin indeed composed one of his early polonaises in G sharp minor, and of course the third etude, Opus 25. And besides that, there are not so many pieces in this key, which is actually very strange, I think, because the key is actually it's not as crazy. You know, it says only 5 sharps, but still it's very rare. So it's actually quite popular by Russian composers like Rachmaninoff Prelude or Scriabin Second Sonata. But anyway, the color of the tonality is somehow very special. Dear Bashes, you can, there will be a live stream of the performance tomorrow on the Frederick Chopin Institute Facebook, as well as YouTube channel, and also here on my Facebook channel as well. So please join tomorrow's recital. So the G sharp minor is, in a way, it's also not quite obvious key. It's on one hand, for me, it reminds on these dark moments of C sharp minor. But on the other hand, it's a little bit softer. It has more light. So in this Prelude and Fugue, this is the quality probably which this also contrast between this very dark moment, which for me the fugue definitely is, and the prelude. The prelude is it's more gentle, more light, more lyrical in a way, but also with a great sadness. And the fugue is very dark. The fugue, what is interesting, it's in 4 parts, but most of the time the subject is coming always in a low register, and it's a very compact, very tight manner of composing. So the prelude is, I think, particularly interesting also because of this polyrhythmical moment, because it's actually in 6/8 time signature, so it's actually so we have clear 1, 2, 3 movement, but the 16th movement is actually in triplet. So we have basically 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this combination, it's not, they're not really fighting with each other, these voices, but still it gives also a kind of uncertain feeling about where we are going, and I think this is actually for me this kind of rhythmical rhythmical uncertainty. It reminds me in a way on the character of Courant as a dance, but of course this is much. It's not for me. It's more, it's more elegical. It's more, more peaceful in a way. It's actually also in 3 parts. The prelude. It reminds a little bit maybe the invention, although this motif is also coming everywhere. Also in several times in inversion, which sounds. Very, very beautiful, very, very light, with certain light in it. And the fugue has a very, very strong subject. So the subject consists of 2 elements, and these movements in 8 notes, this becomes in a way very obsessive, because this is also the material how Bach develops this fugue. There are a couple of interludes here, episodes, which are all built on this actually really obsessive. So it's a very expressive, extremely strong in its emotion and its very deep sorrow, but at the same time I feel somehow a great pride here as well. And the fugue is indeed, as I'm saying, normally Bach, when he writes a 4-part fugue, he goes apart, but here it's very compact. It's all in the middle of the keyboard, or it's going more to the bass direction. So please enjoy the G sharp minor prelude and fugue from Book 1 by Johann Sebastian Bach. G sharp minor Prelude and Fugue Book I, Johann Sebastian Bach. Very special one, I think. Very deep, but also somehow it's not really compromising. And in the end, I don't feel that that's really a kind of peace for me found there. But it's somehow accepting the situation, but not really getting along in a good way with it. So it's a very special one. Jakob, hi. Yes, that's a absolutely wonderful comment. I think he indeed had a basically very strong vision of also human being, but of course also besides or beyond that as well. So this is, this key is indeed somehow very, very special. So I'm really very, very lucky that the pictures at an exhibition have two pieces in G sharp minor, which is really very interesting. That's I was somehow very positively surprised, as I realized that tonight we'll be having the G sharp mind, I thought, wow, that's lucky me. I have a chance to share some ideas about this wonderful cycle by Mussorgsky. So Pictures at an Exhibition is, in my opinion, one of the most, well, I don't know. No, it's always difficult with those words like the most or something. It's just a great piece of music. It's an amazing language, this absolutely innovative musical language which Mussorgsky is using in this piece is absolutely amazing. So basically, the cycle was thought as a personal tribute by Mussorgsky for his friend Victor Hartmann, a Russian painter and architect and in a way designer, who was actually one of the first Russian artists who started to integrate the traditional Russian elements to his works. So also probably also through the connection with the Stasov, who was also, of course, a great friend of Mussorgsky. Stasov was a very influential music critic or art critic. So Mussorgsky knew Hartmann and also respected his works very much. And Hartmann was traveling in Europe, so he saw many different, well, he saw some different places in the world because Mussorgsky was not traveling so much. And anyway, Hartmann passed away unexpectedly. Pani Publotska, very nice to see you. Hello, thanks a lot. So the Hartmann passed away unexpectedly. And Stasov made a commemorative exhibition showing about 400 works. And Mussorgsky, of course, was there, and he was so influenced, so inspired, so, of course, also sad because his friend passed away. And so immediately, right, the idea of this cycle was born. Hello, Pani Halina. And this is something very the work on the composition was really very, very short, and Mussorgsky really very carefully chose the images for the cycle. So the idea is the promenade. The promenade is the beginning, the entrance, and apparently in Stasov's description, Mussorgsky was actually describing himself during an expedition. Mussorgsky, his language in Russian was very funny, to be honest. Well, but in some letters he was saying to Stasov that in those promenades he's seeing himself, his own face, and the word "face" was very funny written, so in a very funny manner. And apparently this is Mussorgsky himself walking through this exhibition, coming from one picture to another, and the promenade in the beginning is just the entrance, and after that it always takes over the mood of the painting which he observed, or preparing the next one. So which I think it's easier to start from the beginning, because actually there are only 6 pictures by Hartmann which can be definitely cross-linked with Mussorgsky's music work, the other way around, which the pictures which can be cross-linked with the music. And so they are very I think what is also very, for me personally, very interesting about it, this multitude of languages also Mussorgsky is using for the titles. Most of the pieces are actually have no relation. Well, there are only 2 pieces which are definitely related to Russian culture, which is, of course, the Baba Yaga and the Great Gate of Kiev. The other pieces, he uses the Latin language, he uses Polish language, Italian, French. So it's very, very international, and it's also very the entire exhibition is very rich on different places we're visiting. So we start with the promenade, and this is, for me already, this already is this unique Mussorgsky language. What he does here, he uses, first of all, the pentatonic scale, which is also very typical for old Russian folk songs. So we have another song there. Wow. Yeah, it started to rain. Well, that's Warsaw, end of August. But anyway, so the promenade. Yes, we start with the pentatonic scale in an asymmetric meter, which can be. It's also very typical, actually, for Russian old or folk songs. That the meter is sometimes it's 4 quarters, 7 quarters, so it's not a square measuring, and this makes it also very unique, somehow very authentic. Typical for Russian music here, and this is also has a great connection with Mussorgsky operas. This type of writing is also a kind of soloist choir is support. This is so-called zapivala. This is the soloist in front of the choir who is making a statement, which is here. And the choir supports, and he agrees with the statement of the soloist. And this is very typical also for Mussorgsky way of writing. So the second piece, or the first picture, is Gnomus, the gnome, very ugly, very strange creature with crooked legs, and this is how, again, how Mussorgsky describes this with great chromatic scales, with very, tritones, which is. So he's coming, disappearing. So we never know where he come from. So this how he makes this. So this is how how Mussorgsky describes this fear. I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure whether Gnome himself is more scared about others or about himself, or it's really somehow very uncomfortable feeling, which I feel when I hear this music, and you really don't know where will he come next. So it's very somehow very strange creature here, these gnomes. The promenade, the next piece reminds me personally very much on the opening scene of the, or let's say the scene which is called the Sunrise at Moscow River, Vanshina. Oh, I see that. You see the store. The Sunrise at the Moscow River is a very beautiful, for me, piece from Hovanshina opera, and this is somehow how I feel this. Then we have the old castle, Il Vecchio Castello, which is in G sharp minor, one of these rare cases. For me, this piece, well, it has this, of course, this basso ostinato throughout the piece, but somehow the entire feeling, for me, this is one of the most expressive pieces in the music literature, which is describing loneliness, maybe for me personally, and transience. Maybe Stasov was making a comment that there was also a troubadour singing in front of an old castle. Maybe there is also indeed a kind of complaint or something, but this feeling of loneliness in this piece is absolutely unique. And in the end, somehow I feel that one is walking away from this painting, but still having the mood of it in your mind and in your heart. So that's why it's interrupting and then it disappears. So it's a very, very moving piece for me personally. Then we have the French moment. We have the Tuileries, which is of course the scene which is describing the kids playing around, and also some nurse comments about trying to calming them down. Here again there is a new mode, a new scale, which is Mussorgsky using, which is Lydian, with this it says also capriccioso. Basically, the comments of Mussorgsky to each piece, they are really very, very sharp, very, very helpful. The next piece, so we are having a great contrast coming from Paris garden to Polish field, where we have the Bydlo. Bydlo is, let's say in this case, apparently there was a cart painted painted by Hartmann. There was a cart on huge wheels, drawn by oxen, and this is a very heavy work, very, very tiring, very difficult, and this is how to describe it. Personally, that the motive is the motive from the promenade, but it's in a completely, basically there are many motifs in this piece, in the cycle, which remind or have this core of this motive from the promenade. The next piece is a complete, again, something completely scherzino, says Mussorgsky. It's the ballet of Unhatched Chicks. That was actually a sketch for the costumes for the ballet, and this is very, yeah, this is a complete, very light, very cheerful, very, I don't know, very, somehow very nice music. Because this is one of the things which are preserved. So this was the costume. Now I'm right. Yes, here I'm okay. Well, I think that Mussorgsky did even much more impressive things. So now we are coming to these two portraits here. Yes, with this. These are two pictures of Samuel Goldenberg and Schmuller, and they are also portrait. Let's say Mussorgsky portrayed them also first separate, then together. So the one Goldenberg. scale with you remember this scale with the low second degree, and then he connects them together. Again, France. We are in Limoges on a great market square with people crying around, sharing the big news. Actually, Mussorgsky wanted also to give some small text about what the woman on the market square were talking about, but then he cancelled. And this is the way he describes this mood is really. Voices coming from different sides. Absolutely great, in my opinion, description of a market square. Then we have the catacomb, or two pieces in one. Well, the catacomb, which is also the painting is Hartmann himself seeing the catacomb in Rome with the light, and it scares him. So we have these big chords. Very progressive harmonies, no real tonality. Well, you have definitely this kind of something around G, and then in the end the F sharp minor, no real key. And then with the dead in the dead language, this is the promenade theme. Because actually there is no more promenade after this big one before Limoges, so this is probably again a kind of transit movement. And then we are coming to the piece which is called Baba Yaga. They had on hands, legs. Well, Baba Yaga is a Russian witch who lives in a forest and who eats people. Somebody really very scared, and she is flying. She is flying apparently in a mortar. That's what Mussorgsky was somehow also describing. So it's also kind of very ugly, very scary music, and full of unexpected turns. And she would be moving around in the forest, and in the middle section, it's I think it's forest for me, and you never know, because the idea is that. Once you as a human being reached this house of Baba Yaga, you had to find the right sentence to open it. You should have said that the house should turn with the face to me, with the back to the forest. So I think this is this turning. in Kiev, which is, of course, this again absolute amazing contrast. This piece, the Bogatyr Gate, you might remember who Bogatyrs are. These are the Russian heroes, superheroes, yes. So they are also very big as people, so they need some space. So it's a very majestic, very grand. The idea was actually of Hartmann was to have a gate with some churches. Sorry, with some roofs in a manner of a Bogatyr helmet. So, but the gate was never built. But however, it's here. We have it in the music. One of the most moving pieces here, places here is this. This 2 times the Russian Orthodox choral is entering, which is absolutely first time, and Mussorgsky writes senza espressione. First time it comes from far. You don't. You don't really. It's not here yet. Basically, again, big contrast, and of course the part where Mussorgsky literally puts in the piano a bell sound, because the section from bar 81 is of course the bell ringing, and I think actually besides Rachmaninoff there were actually only, I think Rachmaninoff and Mussorgsky for me are the only composers who did use the piano to create the bell sound, but I think it's absolutely, the piano has it. It's so again, it takes time until the bell can really ring loud. So in the beginning, it's only the bass. this is the sketch of this here is the sketch of Hartmann's of this gate, Bogatyr gate. So this is the short description of pictures at an exhibition, which is for me a very special piece, and I am so much looking forward to perform it tomorrow in Warsaw, so at 9 p.m. Central European Time. Please tune in to the Facebook or YouTube channel of the Frederick Chopin Institute, or also on my Facebook channel, so that, and I will be very happy, yes, if you would also be there. So I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow's concert. Warsaw, of course, for me is a very special place, and I will be playing at the Philharmonia Narodowa, at the Warsaw Philharmonic Hall, of course, which is for me, a very unique place. So I would say good night to Chopin, who is hopefully having rest at the museum. Well, anyway, Chopin Institute, thank you very much for this. Thank you all for being here, and see you next Thursday for the next stream. But before that, we see each other tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.